following is a paid informational program. The views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff, management, or advertisers of WOBL Radio.
The paranormal world is evolving. UFOs, psychic mediums, ghosts, and the unexplained have become part of the fabric of our lives. The S-Files is the next step in that evolution. I'm Matt Slies, founder and lead investigator with 111 Paranormal.
And I'm Laura Slies, psychic medium, empath, founder and lead investigator with 111 Paranormal. And this is the S-Files.
And good evening to you all. It is another edition of the S-Files on Lorain County Country, 107.7 FM, 1320 AM, and online, WOBLradio.com. Matt Slies here. Laura Slies.
Laura Slies is here.
Laura Slies is in the house.
house.
In the house. And John Jenkinson.
Yeah,
You're
I'm here too.
There you go.
Oh,
Well, it's been a while. I apologize. We weren't here 2 weeks ago. We had a very sick kitty.
Yes.
And that took precedence. So Toby is doing much better now. So thank you for everyone for reaching out and showing their concern for our little boy.
And we are going to have BAM Paranormal on soon. So we'll reschedule with them so they can come in and tell us about some of the equipment that they create. And we've used one of their pieces of equipment already at Bihl Manor.
Right.
Which we're talking about today.
Yes, we will have on Mr. Karlo Zuzic of Haunted Bihl Manor. But let's do a bit of housekeeping. We are going to be on next year. The S-Files will return to Lorain County Country, 107.7 FM, 1320 AM. And you can hear it on WOBLradio.com. And what is so funny?
You're so serious.
Well, you got to plug the show.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to be back. John's going to be back too?
absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
I just got to ask, I got a question for you.
Oh,
Our first question.
first question.
Well, actually, this one's directed strictly at Matt.
Okay.
The new glasses, so people can see it while you're, on camera here.
Oh, you got my glasses on, honey.
Well, darling,
I was like, he's going stylish. Look at that.
As long as he can see, that's all that matters.
Yes.
That's it. He obviously can see fine because he didn't bring anything up. But I was just like, man, I've never seen him wearing these glasses
He's
before.
flashy.
And
You
that's
don't
it.
know the real man.
I'm flashy. I'm not.
That was it. I was like, man, he must have just came from the club.
Oh, yeah.
We're heading to the club afterward. So, where were we? Yes, housekeeping.
Yes. Well, so we were talking about 2024, and one of the new things that we're going to do is go to strictly a radio show. So that's on your little script there, Mr. Matt.
Yes, so basically what we're doing now is we're doing a Facebook simulcast, so you guys can see us and hear us at the same time. But if you download the app, go to the App Store, WOBL, WDLW app, or Gold Country Cool Cat, and you can stream it on any device, or you can listen in on your computer, WOBLradio.com. But Matt, Laura, and John will still be here, but we are...
We're going to the big leagues. We're going straight radio.
We're on straight radio.
Wow.
Yeah, they won't be able to see my glass. Then you can, you know.
That's it. That's why I said you got to get them in while you can. Let people know.
There you go. So anyway.
Lucky it is. It's easy. The radio app is easy to download, and all you do is, if you download the app on your iPhone or iPad or computer, hitting one button and it connects you right to the live stream. So I do that every Saturday when I listen to Matt's Beatles show in the morning.
That's
on our sister station.
On our sister station, Cool Cat, the Magical Mystery Hour, every Saturday from 10 to 11. So if you're a Beatle fan, head on over to that station.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we're talking paranormal right now. So last show was from Roswell to JFK, the greatest lie ever told.
Yeah, we were wondering how many lists we got on with that last show. Probably quite a few.
You know what?
That's okay.
Well, this was really weird because after we were done with our show, We were followed home for a good 80% of the way.
Yeah.
We were followed in close quarters. I'm thinking, uh-oh.
That's it.
And it wasn't you.
No, I go the other direction.
Yeah, we were a little...
It was a little weird.
It was a little weird, definitely. So...
But, hey, we're living life on the edge.
That's right. That's why I'm wearing these glasses.
That's right.
That's it. No one will recognize me.
You only go around like 10 times, so...
Really?
Well, depends on how good you are in the first one, so...
I was hoping just to be perfect this life and then,
Nah, you're going to have another couple.
But you won't come back as a cabbage, because that's the highest form of reincarnation.
It's a cat.
Cabbage.
Cat.
Cabbage. A cat?
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Carlo's going to think we're crazy.
That's going to have to be a story down the road here.
Definitely.
I don't even know where that comes from.
So Karlo, he runs Haunted Bihl Manor in Fremont, Ohio. In fact, I think he's on the line. Let's just patch him in here. We're having so much fun here. Welcome to the show, Karlo.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us. I know you're a little bit under the weather. Otherwise, you would have joined us in the studio here. But you saved yourself a trip because the rain out there is just horrendous. So
yeah, it's bad out here too. It's just being under the weather. I mean, I wouldn't care about the rain. It's just I don't want to get anybody sick. So here I am on the phone.
Secondly, you got sick and used that as an excuse to take off work for a few days.
No, I actually had to go to work. But I feel better throughout the day, and then it just hits me, and then I just feel really bad, and so I think it's more like a chest cold or whatever. So I'm just trying to fight that off, and I've been trying, but it's not gone away yet.
Got to use some crystals there to help the healing energy.
Yeah, I think so. I need something.
Erythromycin
and a prayer.
Erythromycin, a prayer, and 2 amethysts. And call me in the morning. Call me in the morning. So
that sounds good.
How did we discover Bihl Manor, Laura?
Actually, that was one of our teammates, Marvin Edmiston. He had been on Facebook and was seeing people talk about it. And then he texted me and he's like, we got to try this place out. We were hearing really good things about it. And then I reached out to Karlo and we booked it. And I mean, we'll talk about our experiences later in the show, but my gosh, what an active place. And we've been back, I think, three or four times already, and just within the last probably 6 to 8 months or something. And I would make a guess that we'll be back there a number of times next year as well. We really love it.
We're hoping for a group discount, but we can talk about that off air.
He already did that.
We'll figure something out.
Are you open New Year's? Do you have anybody for New Year's Eve yet?
Yeah, I'm actually having a party New Year's Eve over there, and you guys are welcome to come if you like.
Ooh, okay. I think...
Didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but to get an invitation, but hey, okay.
No, I was actually going to invite, a few people and stuff, but I haven't gotten to that yet. But, I decided just to close it down for New Year's and just have a, get-together party, kind of hang out, talk, and just get together and hang out with the spirits that are there, and maybe do a little investigating after midnight or something, and
share some stories.
Just have fun,
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what we're doing on...
That's right.
Okay, good deal. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into the meat and the potatoes of Haunted Bihl Manor. You are listening to the S-Files, brought to you by 111 Paranormal and Black River Crystal, right here on Lorain County Country, 107.7 FM, 1320 AM, and online, WOBLradio.com. We'll be back.
May this Christmas fill your home with peace and joy of the season. Blessings, love, and laughter to you this Christmas. From your friends at Thin Feather Fur Outfitters.
Fligner's Market would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. May you be surrounded by all the things that bring you cheer. Fligner's Market on Broadway in Lorain.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom.
My dad is a hero.
All of our troops built this house, and my dad can get through the wide doorways. He can reach anything.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
What's going on? I'm Dalen.
Man, it's the Paranormal Poppy Juwan, man.
And I am the Marcus Harvey. And we are the Ghost Brothers.
And you are tuned in to the S-Files, baby.
You gonna just give them a theme song? I gave them a theme song.
And we'll take that gladly every week. We are on the phone with Mr. Karlo Zuzic of the Haunted Bihl Manor in Fremont, Ohio. So, we absolutely love the look and feel of the place, but can you tell us a little bit about the history of Bihl Manor?
Sure. The building was built in 1898 by Jerome Bihl. He was a Toledo native. He was a big businessman out there, and he's heard that Fremont at that time was up and coming, and he decided to move here. He also met one of the richest ladies in Sandusky, and they got married, and they decided to build the home. Excuse me. And so in 1898, he built the home. He owned a music shop here in town. He also owned a jewelry shop here in town. And that's how he made his money. And he built the home, and then he moved to Minneapolis in 1922. From what I know, none of the Bihl family members have passed away in the home. But he sold the home to the Wolf family. Clarence owned a granary here in Lindsay, Ohio, so they had money. And in 1940, Clarence got hit by a car crossing the street, and he died like 2 years after that in the home. And then in 1966, Daisy was bedridden for several years and passed away in the home also. And I believe you guys came up with some great information that I didn't know. I think you guys found that information that Elizabeth, which was Clarence's mother, passed away in the home also?
I'm not sure I'll have to look at that. I don't know if she passed away, but I know she was shown there. Like they had her funeral there, or her wake there. And, which I think they did a lot back then, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a very common thing back then. And they also had, they brought their daughter-in-law from Texas when she passed away, and they had the funeral and wake there. And the historian out here told me that a prominent family in the area, which would allow their friends that didn't have as much money to hold funerals and wakes at their home, if they couldn't afford to have it anywhere else. So there was probably many more held there. A lot of historical homes were like that, so it's not just this one. But yeah, it was just common practice back then. But Daisy did pass away in 1966, and then the home was sold to the Lucas County Children's Group out of Toledo. They converted the home into a group home for mentally challenged kids, sick children, and unwanted children. And that was till 1995. And then in 95, it was sold to a gentleman. They made it to a bed and breakfast for a couple years. And then it was sold again to a gentleman in 2009. And he lived in it for what I hear like 8-9 months and then moved out of it. And I don't know if it's related to the spirit activity or not. And then I bought it from that gentleman in 2022. And here I am with this precious little home.
I mean, it's beautiful though, Karlo. I, as a medium, when I walked into the house, I just had this feeling of like this is a home. Like it felt good. It wasn't anything negative, but there's a lot going on there. I mean, in almost every room. So we'll talk more about that. I'm excited to talk about my experiences there.
And I got to say that where the house is located is near the Presidential Library and Museum and grave of President
Hayes.
President Hayes. And it's a lot of, it must have been a very, very affluent area because there's a lot of mansion-like homes all through there, plus you have the Presidential Library. It's a really, really nice neighborhood.
Yeah, I think the area was for the wealthy back then. I mean, it looks like they all kind of went in that same area, because I know President Hayes, when he passed away, he owned a lot of the land in that area, and his son sold most of it off. You know, he probably didn't want to deal with it, and they started building these big houses all over in that area. So I think just where all the rich people kind of moved in and built their big old mansions in that area. So, but it's very historical, very historical.
Talk about, intuition, feelings. Well, Laura and I were driving out, first time ever into Fremont. First time. And we're driving in, we're going through the neighborhood, we're like, we like this. This is a nice area.
We both felt like, it was the weirdest thing, like we both felt like we were home. It was such a weird feeling, like we've never done that. And as many places as we've been and driven around and traveled to, we have never done that before. So I got to wonder what that was about, because it was like as soon as we got into Fremont, we were like, this feels like home.
Yeah, it's just a small area. Fremont's big, but it's not that big. I mean, I grew up in Cleveland, so I'm used to big city. Then I moved to Parma, which was another big city, and then I moved to Fremont. And it was a big change because, you go to Parma or Cleveland, you could go any restaurant, any style restaurant you want, all the stores you want. And out here, you're kind of limited, but it is kind of homey out here because it's a smaller community, and you get to know more people, and it seems like everybody I've met out here knows everybody. It's really weird, but I like it out here. It's different.
That's okay. We did a ghost hunt in one, I can't remember the city we were in, but a very, very small city, and the only restaurant that was open on a Saturday night was a Subway next to a gas station.
In the gas station.
In the gas station. That's where we had our dinner. I'm like, if this is how the night's going to start, this is not going to be a good ghost hunt.
So,
this ain't that bad out here.
Pizza's good.
Yeah, the pizza's very good. You mentioned that there were children in the home at some point. Do you know if it was just boys or was it boys and girls?
So when it first started out, I believe it was boys and girls. It was just for children. And then I don't know if they phased out the girl part and they just left the boys. I know for a fact, talking to some of the neighbors out here, they told me that the last 2 years of it being a group home, it was for adult males.
Okay.
And then, it's for mentally challenged adult males. And then it's shut down after that.
Yeah, I specifically asked that because I always seem to tap into this, I want to say she's like a 12 or 13-year-old girl in the dining room. And so I was curious to see if there had been any of that age around there. Because for some reason we just always seem to get her, she responds really well to, I think, other women especially.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, I know the kids that were here were from the age of 8 to 17, and once they got a little older, they would get them shipped out to bigger institutions.
Okay.
But you're not the only person that's picked up on a girl in this place, because I've had many people come through here, and a lot of them told me there's a girl upstairs named Debbie or something like that, Deb. So I get different names, but they're picking up a young female in the home.
Yeah,
too,
she likes music. Like all of our
good.
equipment went crazy when we were playing. What was it? Oh, the Turtles, wasn't it? Oh, the Hollies. That's right, the Hollies.
Really?
But we played Bus Stop. We kind of started with different era music, so we did that, and our equipment in the dining room just went crazy. And then we played also Ricky Nelson, and then it went a little crazy on the Ricky Nelson too. So we were like, well, she really likes music. But I was definitely picturing a younger girl in my head.
Dancing around.
Yep.
We are speaking with Karlo Zuzic, owner of the Haunted Bihl Manor in Fremont, Ohio. John, you've been to Fremont, haven't you?
I have, actually. But, I'm not, I got to say, I'm not an expert on Fremont by any means. I have been to the Haunted Hydro at Halloween time.
What is the Haunted Hydro?
It's their water plant, and it's all done up haunted and everything, and it's actually very well done. So, very.
We'll have to do a double feature on that one.
There you go.
We have some competition there.
You go pass out candy at Bihl Manor.
That's right.
That's it.
Did you do that this Halloween? Did you pass out candy?
I did it. No, I don't remember what I did on Halloween. I think it was on a weekday, wasn't it?
Yes, and it was cold.
Very cold.
I was probably just getting ready to go to work the next day.
So what made you decide to offer ghost hunting? You saw this place, and what made you decide to get into the paranormal business?
Well, so what happened is, first of all, the Bihl Manor was never meant to be for people to come in and ghost hunt. I mean, it was supposed to be a place I wanted to live in. The home I live in now could probably fit just in the 2 rooms downstairs from the Bihl. I mean, it's a small house that I have. And, I collect stuff, and I wanted to hang stuff up and things like that. So I was like, man, I'd like to get a bigger house because everything's so cluttered in this one. And, so I started looking online, and I went on Realtor.com, and I see this big yellow house down there, and it caught my eye instantly. And I was like, and I was never really attracted to huge houses. I mean, by any means, I was just looking for more like a normal house. But this thing just caught my eye for some reason, and so I went to look at it, and it was like the weirdest thing when because his realtor is actually my realtor also. And I walked in the door, and the minute I stepped into that lobby, I never even looked at the whole house yet. I knew I was going to make an offer on this thing. It was like the weirdest thing. And I was like really excited. I asked him if he knew any history about the house. He said he heard it was a bed and breakfast at one time. That's all he really knew. So I kind of walked around, and I made an offer. The bank told me that they will not be able to give me the money for it because it needs work. It was more outdated. It's not like the roof's caving in or anything like that. It was just, how banks are. But, so I was like, forget it. I'm not going to worry about it. But I actually work about 3 blocks from there, and every day I would drive past this home and look at it. And I kept looking online if it's sold. And I don't know what drew me to this house. And so one day I was like, you know what? I want to see this house one more time. I called the realtor. I went there, and I made a cash offer, like half price of what he was even asking for it. And he accepted the offer, and I got this home, and I was just so thrilled to have it. And here I thought I was going to move in and just take it over with all my goodies, and then I find out it's haunted. And so I started hearing things. I heard a woman coughing in the house. I heard footsteps upstairs. There was nobody even in the house. So I was like, is this place haunted or what? And one night my girlfriend and I were in there, and we sat down, and I was like, we're going to investigate it just to see if anything happens. And we're sitting in the one dining room, and I knock on the floor, and I'm like, is there anybody here? Can you knock back? And I hit 3 times, right? And you could actually, it was so quiet you could hear a mouse fart. I mean, it was just so quiet. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden it goes boom, boom, boom. I actually ducked. She runs for the door. I thought somebody shot a gun off.
Oh, my gosh.
But it came from the house. It was loud. And I was like, what the heck was that? And I'm walking around, I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm looking out the windows. There's nobody around. But it sounded like it came from the kitchen area. So at that point, I knew, it's definitely got something going on. And from that point on, I was like, do I really want to live with a bunch of spirits? And, being a paranormal investigator myself, I was like, well, maybe I'll just open it up and see what happens, and share it with everybody else. And that's what I did, and it's been pretty good so far. A lot of people are coming in, having some good experiences, and, I try to keep this place like a home to paranormal investigators. I treat it like I would want to be treated going somewhere. So, but that's one of my goals right now, is just to keep it running and see what happens.
No, it's fantastic. Now, you mentioned you were a paranormal investigator. So how did you get into the paranormal? You were into it before you bought Bihl?
Oh, yeah. I started, what happened to me is as a child, I had experience in living in Cleveland at a home. There was a dark shadow man in there that attacked me one night, and I had nobody to talk to. I had nobody to turn to. Being young, if I told my friends there was a ghost in my house, they'd laugh at me. They thought I was cuckoo. So from that point on, when I got older, I wanted to research it more, and then I wanted to start something where I could help families also. And I joined a team, and I've been doing it for 17 years now, and I love it. I love the field. Owning the Bihl, I'm meeting so many awesome people like yourself. Just really cool people coming through there, and get to know other teams and how they work, and you just get to meet so many people. It's really cool.
One of the things I love about what you've got there is the journals that you keep. When we went the first time on the dining room table, there's a journal where you can write down your experiences for others to take a look at or share with. And it's just the whole, how personal that is such a wonderful experience. I really love that.
I was going to write, this was the best restaurant I ever eaten in, but I thought, no. Laura talked me out of that one.
Yeah, I did.
And that's true, too.
But, the journal, it was really cool because I never thought of the journal, and it was like the second or third team that it had there. And I wish I remember their name. If they're listening, I'm sorry, but I came in the next day and they were still there, and they're like, "Hey, we bought this book for you," and we wrote our first story in there. And I'm like, "Well, how cool is that?" So from that point on, I had that book there, and I like it because you could go to any location and or anywhere else, and somebody could tell you a million stories. You'd be like, "No, is this guy for real? Is he not?" Well, my stories are coming from the book, and you can read it for yourself, what's in there. Nothing's fabricated. I don't write this stuff. It's the people that are there that write it. And even if they don't have experiences, I tell them, write it in the book, because maybe there's a pattern that we could follow. So, everybody's been writing stories in there, and I love reading it because I'm learning something new. I'm getting new names. I'm jotting these names down. And I'm kind of watching if they show up again later. So it's kind of really cool to have.
Kind of using the scientific method there. Is there like a repository that people can drop their evidence or share their evidence that they pick up from Bihl?
Yeah, you could go on our website. You could shoot me an email, or you could go on Facebook and just message me and, send them over to me. If you've got large files, you could Google Drive them to me or something like that. I actually just posted it yesterday. I had a team there last weekend, and so I always told these people about the shadow kid that I've seen during New Year's, during a party, where he ran across that hallway, and I seen him.
Upstairs?
He was about 3 foot tall. Yep, in the hallway.
Okay.
Well, somebody actually captured the kid peeking around the corner, and I have the video up there. When I seen it, all the hair on my arms and neck and everything just stood right up, because somebody actually captured what I saw running across that hallway in that same spot. And so I posted that video on the Facebook page.
I just have to ask you, Karlo, is that was he in the hallway, or did he go in one of the rooms? Because we saw him peeking out of one of the rooms.
Really? Yeah, I think she said that she was sitting, you know how the benches are upstairs on the second floor?
Right.
She was facing the glass, and then you could see the hallway, between the wall and that glass.
Mm-hmm.
And she was filming, and when she moved it over, you could see, it's almost like when she moved her camera over, it was like, I got caught, and it moved back, and you could see the head move back, and you could see the head and the shoulders.
That's what you saw, man.
Yeah.
That's what you saw, huh?
Yes. We are going to go over. We'll go over because we have listed out what we experienced at Bihl Manor, and we're going to run it by you, and maybe it's something you've seen before, or this could be brand new observations. But we're going to do that after we take a break. You are listening to the S-Files, sponsored by Black River Crystal, and 111 Paranormal on WOBL, Lorain County Country, 107.7 FM, 1320 AM, and online, WOBLradio.com. Matt Slies, Laura Slies, John Jenkinson. We'll be back with more Paranormal Talk after this.
What do you look for in a car? Well, when I was 16, I was lucky if mine started, but not anymore. Not since I've been introduced to the line of Buicks and GMCs at Nick Abraham Buick GMC in Elyria. Class, luxury, style, without breaking the bank. Stop in the showroom today on East Broad Street in Elyria.
At Nick Abraham Auto Mall, we make it that easy.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard. Aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It is the S-Files on WOBL Radio. Matt and Laura Slies here. Okay, I was going to hit another button here, but that button is gone. Live radio, folks. Sometimes it's just not pretty. The S-Files is sponsored by Black River Crystal. During this chaotic period, more and more people are discovering the power of crystals and metaphysical New Age methods. Black River Crystal is a place to help you on your journey to balance your universe, past, present, and future. We offer a large variety of crystals, towers, spheres, raw and polished tumbles, amethyst, obsidian, selenite, moldavite, and much, much more. Did you know I've been mispronouncing selenite?
I did not know that.
It was pointed out to me today.
By who? Who would do such a thing?
I wonder.
Finish that.
Reiki healing sessions, aura, and tarot readings are available on site. We have a great staff that are ready to help you find what you need to balance your universe. Located at 23013 Sprague Road in Columbia Station, or call 440-941-3403. If you can't make it to our store, don't worry. You can shop online 24/7 at www.blackrivercrystal.com or email questions to blackrivercrystal@gmail.com. We are speaking with the owner of Bihl Manor, a good friend of ours, Karlo Zuzic. Is he still on the line with us? You still there?
I am here.
Excellent. This has gone by really quick so far, hasn't it?
It's exciting.
So this is what we've come up with when we've investigated at Haunted Bihl Manor. So we were in the living room.
The front,
living room, or the parlor, as you would call it. And you were giving a tour to two of our team members upstairs. And we had our plastic bags full of our snacks.
The required
snacks
for a ghost hunt.
And they were rattling around on the table, and it sounded like an animal got into the house and was rummaging through our stuff.
You know, Karlo, I made Matt go over there and check because we couldn't see the table from where we were sitting. And I said, go see if there's an animal that got in.
Are you sure it wasn't Matt sneaking in a tree?
No, he was sitting in the chair with me, so definitely not. But we couldn't see. It was the room, where they did the wakes. So we couldn't see the dining room table. But hear the bags, just like somebody's looking through the bags. Mm-hmm. But the three of you were off, doing the tour. And so he goes over, he kind of scoots over there and looks, and he's like, there's nobody there, nothing there.
It was my doppelganger.
No.
Wow.
But it was really, what a cool experience. That was like within 10 minutes of coming into the house.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Zagnut over there.
Were any chips missing?
I don't know. See what they like.
They're probably looking for the cookies.
Yes, exactly.
Or the gummies.
The famous, Marvin brings the famous peanut butter cookies every time, so that's probably what they were looking for.
And so
Marvin's never gave me any of those, so he needs to get me some next time.
We will do that, I promise.
We'll bring some for the party. We'll bring some.
Awesome. That'll work.
We're on the list. We were upstairs, and downstairs we could hear furniture moving in the front room. Same parlor.
Yes, I've heard that many times. It sounds like somebody's dragging a desk or something upstairs.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it gets pretty loud.
So also, you have that one room, one of the bedrooms upstairs where you've got like the mirrors, where you can look into the mirrors and have the candle thing going and kind of.
You have the scrying room?
Yes, the scrying room.
Mm-hmm.
So I had never tried that before and had been wanting to. One of my really good friends, Shelley Bennett from Madison Seminary, had got me this scrying dish that I wanted to try. So I did the first time there at Bihl, and I kept seeing shadows behind me. One was of a really tall man and then a shorter woman, and I could tell, she had like her hair up in a bun, but the guy was like a tall, thin guy, but tall. I mean, like 6'4", something like that.
Hold on, you saw a woman with her hair in a bun?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I kept seeing them kind of milling around that room, and they were just kind of just looking to see, I think, the feeling I got was that they were checking to see what we were doing, to kind of, that they loved the house and that they were really concerned to make sure that we were doing the things we should be doing and taking care of the house, but seemed like they were kind of like maintenance people or something like that.
Custodians.
Yeah, custodians. Like they maintain the house. Like that they were looking to make sure that they take care of the house.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know several psychics that have come through have told me there's a lady with her hair in a bun that she hangs out in the one room, but I'm sure she can move around, obviously. But they've seen her on the second floor. People have reported a woman like sobbing up there.
We got that too.
Did you?
We got a woman actually. To the best of my ability, I'm going to try to impersonate this sound because this is what it sounded like to me. It sounded like.
Yeah, it sounded like she was like. It was like a painful moan.
Moan,
like in pain or just like sad, like super sad or something like that. Like she was just.
Wow.
She wasn't happy. Let's just put it that way.
But that was coming from. So if you go up the steps, not the first bedroom where the twin beds are, but that second bedroom right on that same side.
That's where everybody reports the woman in.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That's where I thought she came from. So.
Did you guys physically hear this moan?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we both did. It's when we stayed overnight. One of the nights that we stayed, which is I will say it's wonderful to ghost hunt overnight there for everybody listening as well, because there's rooms with beds, and it's really just kind of you can get a sleeping bag or a cot too, but it's a great place to do like a whole night at the house. And this place really, I mean, after midnight, it really does pick up.
In the early morning hours, we heard a little boy giggle in our room.
Yeah, we were in the room with the twin beds, and we slept there, and I was sort of in and out of sleep most of the night. But that same night is when we heard the lady moan, and then Matt said he felt somebody sit on one of the beds, the bed that he was on closest to the door.
It felt like a cat jumped on the bed, but it had a little more weight.
Wow.
To it. Yeah.
So we were thinking it was probably a little kid. But we both, what was really funny is like you're kind of like in that state where you're not 100% sure, you weren't dreaming it, but we heard I heard the little boy giggling, and it was clear as you and I talking. And
did it sound like it came from the room or the hallway?
He was in the room.
The room?
He was in the room with us for sure. Standing by, I would say, just within the door. And I didn't, we both got up, we got our stuff together, went downstairs, and I didn't say anything, and he didn't say anything at first. Matt didn't say anything either. And I don't know what made you bring it up, but you finally said, did you hear that little boy? And I got so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I heard this exact same thing. So it was such a great experience.
Yeah, because we investigated 2 weekends back to back.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember if it was the first or the second.
It was the first weekend we heard the little boy. Yeah.
But it was, because during the night, because, when you're investigating with a bunch of people, people, sometimes they sleep, sometimes they don't. And,
right.
So he moves and you jolt up awake. But then you're in that state where you're half covered. Then you hear something. You're like, okay, I hear something paranormal, most definitely.
Yeah, right. It certainly wasn't any of our team.
No. And then you've got Marvin on our team asked a question of, are you shy?
Yeah, we were all sitting upstairs in the hallway.
Okay.
And
the big lobby,
yes,
lobby part?
Sort of,
okay.
Yeah. All of us were kind of gathered around the middle. And there were only, say like 6 of us were sitting up there. And we weren't getting anything voice-wise, but we were hearing things move around. And so Marvin said, are you shy? And I have to ask, he's on. I can't remember exactly what, he either said yes or no. I can't remember.
Yes.
Did he say yes?
He said yes.
So we all heard him say yes, just like that.
Wow.
And all of us just looked at each other like, did we really just actually hear that little boy?
Because we've heard audio.
How cool is that?
Yeah, we've heard audio evidence when all of us have been in earshot. Like in Mansfield, we'll hear it. At Madison, we hear it. So when you hear something like that, it just validates that, okay, what we're doing does have value, and your place definitely is haunted.
Oh yeah, I for sure. I can tell you that. I mean, it's great that other people are validating that, but the energy in there is just really weird. Like, there's days I'll open that front door, and like the hair on my arms just stands right up, and it's almost like they run at you and they surround you. And there's days I walk in and I feel like it's a home. It's really weird. But man, when you hit that second floor, I think that second floor is their domain, and that's why there's a lot of experiences up there. But man, I'll tell you what, that second floor just, there's times I have to go through there and shut the lights off in the mornings or at dark, and I like run through there real quick and just shut them off and get out. And it's almost like when you're the faster you're moving, they're behind you, like they're right on you, and it's really weird.
But I will say though that they all seem very happy. I mean, I don't get a bad vibe there.
Except when we come back.
Okay,
when we come back, there's one spot we're gonna talk about of Bihl Manor. We're talking to Karlo Zuzic of Haunted Bihl Manor in Fremont, Ohio, on the S-Files on WOBL, Lorain County Country, 107.7 FM, 1320 AM, and online, WOBLradio.com. We will be back.
LEAD, Law Enforcement Against Drugs and Violence, is the most rapidly growing drug and violence prevention charity in the United States. By using an evidence-based, tested, and proven effective curricula taught by law enforcement and educators, LEAD's school-based anti-drug and anti-violence program empowers children to make the right decisions about drugs, violence, alcohol, and bullying. Learn more about LEAD at leadrugs.org or follow us at We Are LEAD. Sponsored by LEAD Incorporated.
Many veterans in active duty military have invisible wounds, like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety. Help Heal Veterans offers them medicine that doesn't come in a bottle by providing free therapeutic craft kits, time-tested healing tools for invisible wounds that can help relieve pain and improve mobility and fine motor skills. HealVets.org, healing the invisible wounds of war through creativity. HealVets.org, sponsored by Help Heal Veterans.
Those headaches and stomach aches your child gets may be migraine. 10% of children and 28% of adolescents have migraine disease. Migraine at School can help. Learn more at migraineatschool.org. As a parent, I know how migraine impacts my daughter's ability to learn. Every child deserves the chance to flourish in school. Visit migraineatschool.org. Sponsored by the Coalition for Headache and Migraine Patients.
Hello, this is Dakota Layden.
Kelsey Layden.
Tanner Wiseman, and Alex Schrader. And you are listening to the S-Files. Dun, dun,
Everybody wants to give us songs.
Never gets old. The S-Files, sponsored by Black River Crystal. During this chaotic period, more and more people are discovering the power of crystals and metaphysical New Age methods. Black River Crystal is the place to help you on your journey to balance your universe, past, present, and future. We offer a large variety of crystals, towers, spheres, raw and polished tumbles, amethyst, obsidian, selenite, moldavite, and much, much more. Reiki healing sessions, aura, and tarot readings are available on site. We have a great staff that are ready to help you find what you need to balance your universe. Located at 23013 Sprague Road in Columbia Station, or call 440-941-3403. If you can't make it to the store, don't worry. You can shop online 24/7, www.blackrivercrystal.com, or email questions to blackrivercrystal@gmail.com. We are with Karlo Zuzic of the Haunted Bihl Manor.
I just wanted to say one thing about Black River Crystal, our sponsor. For all of you in the paranormal community who know Kathy Fiketic, she is doing Reiki at Black River Crystal now.
That's right.
So you can call them up and do Reiki session with her. But we kind of all connected on the show. So a really good thing came out of that.
And next year, Laura might be doing aura readings.
We're going to try to work on aura readings as well, yes.
So it's a full service, spiritual, psychic, and just a general good time at Black River Crystal. So there's one spot, I have to say, that even I got a little freaked out about at Bihl Manor. I mean, it's a beautiful place, very well kept, but the attic has some juju in there. It's got a weird vibe.
So it's the
I think it's the 1970s brown shag carpet, maybe. I don't know.
It could be.
It's the only spot that I had an inkling of a little bit of bad,
unsavory things.
But it wasn't. I mean, no, it was more like fear than it was anything else. Like what I thought was maybe that. Maybe sometimes the kids may have been sent up there when they were bad. That's the impression I got. So.
Now, see, if I was a teenager back then, I would have loved to have that room because that would be a cool attic room. But
right, except for a bat they may came loose or something up
right?
there. But I believe they had some beds up there for the children. So, I'm sure some were told to go upstairs and not come back down. And, because they started off the home with like 8 children. And then I read that at one point they had up to 20 kids in there at points where some would just come in and stay maybe for a month or two and then would get transferred out of there until a place opened up. So they had a lot of bodies in that place. They had a nurse that lived there 24/7 that took care of the sick children. So, I mean, there was a lot of people that came through there and they had to have that space. So
yeah,
I don't know what happened in the attic, and who knows. I remember I was at a flea market, and this gentleman was making signs, and I was like, oh, how cool would that be to put up a Bihl Manor sign that's made out of wood? And I started talking to him. He asked me where my place was, and I told him. He goes, oh, wow. He goes, I grew up right around the corner from there. And this is an older gentleman. So I was like, well, hold on. Can you tell me some stories about this place? Because I want to know. And he goes, he heard it wasn't such a good place. Does that mean they were being abused? No. Maybe they were just so full that they couldn't keep up. I mean, it could be a lot of different things, but that's what he told me. So what you're feeling up there could be some part of that.
And I probably, too, think about it, how hot it would have been up there in the summertime. So that could play in. And I'm not saying anybody was hurt or anything like that. I think it was just more of it was almost like a dread. So that could have played into that. So.
It was the carpeting.
Sure.
Hey, real quick, before we get into equipment, on a scale of, let's say, 5 bats being infested and 1 bat being manageable, the bat situation, with ghost hunters, some of them are afraid of bats, like me. Can they go in there without the fear of having those rodents flying by them?
Well, let me put it this way. I am, completely petrified of bats. I'll burn the house down if I see one come flying past me. I don't want to deal with them. Supposedly in the attic, somebody's seen one time. I don't know. I've never seen them up there, but there's these little doors up there, and I tell people not to open them. Supposedly there were supposed to be bats behind it, but I've never seen one. But I had a team there one time. They said they netted one. They got rid of it, which is great. But yeah, I don't think you have to worry about bats.
All right, good deal.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this interview has really gone by real quick.
Super quick.
Yeah. So what type of equipment as a ghost hunter do you like using?
Do I like using? I love visual stuff personally, like your full spectrum photography, thermal imaging, SLS. I like to see things. That's what I prefer. When it comes to the home, they love touchy things. Music boxes, REM pods, cat balls, anything that makes noise or plays music. They love touchy things, tripwire. So, but I prefer visual stuff. That's my go-to when I investigate.
That's so funny because all those things you mentioned all went off when we investigated there. In fact, Marvin on Facebook, I just saw him. He wrote that when they were up in the attic, they did get Daisy's name come through the box. And
oh, wow.
Also, I remember we were watching on the screen while some of them went upstairs, and they were sitting around in like kind of a circle, and behind them had some equipment, and the cat ball kept going crazy.
Oh, wow.
Up in the attic. So they were definitely getting a bunch of stuff up there as well. But they do see, totally love music and things that make noise. Yeah, I totally got that.
So I'll have to mention that to people coming through, try that, see if they get any other interaction with that.
Yeah, I felt like it almost like made them excited to hear the music,
Right. It's probably something they loved. Back then, music was the biggest thing around because a lot of people didn't have TVs and things like that.
Yeah.
And music was the go-to thing. And I'm sure they probably sat around and listened to Christmas music and all the holiday music and everything else that came through. So I'm sure that's probably something they loved,
Yeah.
So tell us about the overnight investigations. What's included, and if a ghost team is listening, how can they go ahead and book it?
Reach you? Yeah.
So what's included is you can book a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. It's $225 up to 5 people, and then $45 every additional person after that. For an extra $30, you could stay till 10 a.m. If you don't want that, it's from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. The only reason I charge a little bit more for the 30 is because, you're using more heat and all that, and, just trying to make up for it. But Mondays through Thursdays, it's $175 a night, up to 5 people, and then $35 every additional person. And same thing, $30 if you want to stay till 10 a.m. If you want to book a night, you can go on Haunted Bihl Manor.com, and there's a calendar on there. You can check out the calendar. People are already booking up, of course, Saturdays for next year. And then you could go on Facebook and message me dates that you like, and I could take a look for you. So you go to Haunted Bihl Manor on Facebook and message me, and I could try to look it up for you guys.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
We look forward to, I will be reaching out to you because now talking about everything, I just want to come back out there. So I'll reach out to you. I'll reach out to you to do it.
We got plans for New Year's Eve, I think.
Yes.
So.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Like I said, come down for New Year's. I'll shoot you guys a message and stuff beforehand, and you guys want to stop down and want to have a fun night just hanging out and socializing and just having a good time.
Yeah,
John,
sounds great.
John's never been on a ghost hunt.
Nope.
Well, we got to get you.
There.
Yeah, we got to get you.
We have to get you on a ghost hunt. Speaking of ghost hunts, we got some audience questions, and we're going to do those right now. So feel free to chime in as well. Is there a best time of day to ghost hunt? What say you, Laura?
I say no. I say ghosts are there, they're there. It doesn't matter if the lights are on. It doesn't matter if lights are off. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. People like to have the lights out because of the ambiance of it, and, it's a little more scary and spooky.
Dead time.
But, no, I've experienced, as well as people who walk through Mansfield Reformatory have stories all about apparitions they've seen during the day and doing just the regular tours, so it doesn't really matter.
What about you, Karlo? What do you think?
I'm the same way. I actually experienced a lot of things at the Bihl during the day. I actually seen a full-body apparition of a boy standing on a landing during the daytime. I hear footsteps upstairs, stuff being dragged. So, yeah, I don't think there's really, they say the witching hours between 9 and 3 a.m. Yeah, but I think it's really any time of the day it could be active. I mean, I've been in a lot of places where you experience stuff. Like you said, you can walk to Mansfield, you're just doing a regular walk-through tour, and people see stuff. So,
Definitely. Another question. Do you believe orbs can be paranormal?
So, well, I'm going to say yeah. So, I have 2 pictures on I think I have these on our website, 111paranormal.com, but the orbs that I caught look like they're on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I caught it in motion. So I caught one, it was at the bottom of the screen, and then on my camera, it moved kind of to the right and up, and I caught it again. And it looks like it definitely was not a bug. It was not like there's substance to it. So I think most of the time they probably aren't paranormal, that they can be explained away, but there are some cases where I think that they are.
John, have you seen an orb?
I gotta say, I've not seen an orb. I've seen apparitions. I've seen the full body apparitions, but I've not. The only time I've seen an orb has been on TV.
Mr. Karlo.
Yeah, I tell you what. When it comes to orbs, there's a big debate about it. So, my theory on it is, if you are having a personal experience, and say you snap a photo and you capture an anomaly in that photo, I would say yes, that is a form of energy that's probably surrounding you. 99% of the times it's dust, bugs,
spider webs.
Dust. I mean, just about everything in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Our cameras are so sensitive these days where when you snap photos, they highlight everything. Now if you're catching it on Polaroid, it's a little different. But yeah, you could debate orbs forever. I mean, I've done events where people show me an orb, and I'm trying to be flat out honest with them and say, look, that's probably dust, and they get in arguments with me. So I kind of leave it up to that person what to believe. I mean, I'm not going to argue with them. Hey, if you think it's a ghost, fine. Yeah. But my theory on them is a lot of them can't be explained. But there is weird ones I've seen. I mean, if you physically see them with your eye, which I've seen one at Brushy Mountain and a couple other places. I don't see them all the time. They're kind of, they're not around all the time. But, it's rare. But, yeah, photo-wise, I'm up in the air when it comes with the orbs theory. And like I said, you get a lot of debates about them. So,
yep.
I am going to open up a field of study called orbology.
They should, right?
Are you going to be an orbologist?
I'm going to be an orbologist. Call me Roy Orbison.
That's a good idea. It's a good study.
Nice
and it's interesting that you say, the webs and the spiders and that, because, there's so many orb spiders out there that's their names.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I pretend like spiders don't exist when I'm in scary places.
Like I'm with the bats, but... And our last question, you mentioned about atmosphere. This is a good segue. Can weather conditions influence paranormal activity? Laura?
Yes, I believe that storms can, because if there's some electrical kind of thing to it, it seems, in my experiences, ghosts and spirits can either have an easier time manipulating electrical currents or somehow or another can communicate that way. And so, yeah, I think that a storm can do that.
John?
I think that's God grabbing one. I'll have a lot of people talking about that tomorrow.
And
hey, you're supposed to be up here.
This show. Wow. Karlo, real quick, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it does. But, it's really weird, when I talk to people that have been at the Bihl during storms and rain, they don't get much. So, I don't know. I mean, I would say, yeah, it does, because, the electricity in the air kind of generates everything. But, I'm still up in the air with the whole weather deal, because, I mean, I've been in a house when it's 100 degrees and you get, crazy stuff happening. So I think it just happens when it does. But I think the weather can contribute to it a little bit. I'm sure it can.
I wonder if, because there were lots of kids there, if they quieted down because they were scared of storms and things like that, that maybe that's why that happens.
Sometimes the rain helps me sleep, so
I'm
that's them too.
True.
I almost broke into the thunder song, but I realized I'm on the radio.
Oh, no,
So
not that one.
So tune into our next show, Saturday, December 23rd, with guest John Ward, paranormal investigator and author of the Scareville book series. We have 50 seconds left. The S.
Oh,
I don't
goodness.
know. I can't think of one right now.
I had one and I completely forgot. But
what does the S stand for, Matt?
Silence.
Silence?
Yeah.
Why silence?
Because he's silent. He doesn't.
Oh.
You're silent. You can't think of one.
Well, I was thinking earlier, and I had one that dealt with cleaning, because you guys were like cleaning for the end of the year, and I can't remember what the S was. But
Scrub.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. You have been listening
Karlo.
to the S-Files in Lorain County Country.
You're welcome.
107.7 FM, 1320 AM, and online, WOBLradio.com. We will see you soon. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.
The proceeding was a paid informational program. The views and opinions expressed were not necessarily those of the staff, management, or advertisers of WOBL Radio.
1320 AM.